welcome you to this particular platform because this possibly the code of the day and this possibly the code of a better tomorrow. I congratulate once again to KKDAS College for this wonderful, wonderful initiative and making history, writing the scripts of history in the map of new technological education or education through new technology in West Bengal. It's a historical day. Salute to this initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. And I hope this will definitely boost us and encourage us for taking more future endeavors. Now, I'll quickly move to our main section. So today's speaker is Bidyut Saha.
Before this, I would like to give a big thanks to our teacher who are behind the screen, who is working 24 hours. Our teacher of computer science, Mridul Kanti Bhaumik. It is possible only for him who has made this platform for our beloved student. So now, Animus, you proceed with the lecture.
Yes,
thank you, Animus.
Thank you, sir. Yes, definitely. Our faculty member, our professor, Mridul Kanti Bhaumik, has definitely made us this big situation possible. Now, I'll quickly move to our main section. Today's speaker is Bidyut Saha, the professor, Department of English, Raidighi College. He will be talking on After Apple Picking, written by Robert Frost. Now, over to you, Doc. Sir, are you there? Professor Bidyut Saha, are you there, sir?
Wait, somehow there will be a technical problem.
I think so, sir.
He was here. He was just.
Okay, sir. Let us wait for a minute. He will definitely come back. He will definitely join us. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. There was a technical fault, so just join with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we have joined.
Okay. Now, Professor Bidyut Saha has joined us. Now, we'll be delivering a lecture on After Apple Picking, written by Robert Frost. Over to you, Professor Saha.
Thank you very much for this invitation you have extended to me for this first lecture. Actually, that is not a lecture, that is an experience to be shared with my students from different colleges. And we are in a very trouble, in a horrific condition. As you know, we couldn't attend the regular classroom and we couldn't meet our students. And very probably this is the best opportunity that had been initiated by different colleges. Particularly, I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to Professor Ramakrishna Prasad Chakraborty from KKDAS College and other principals from different colleges who have thought to to make this platform to be available for a larger part of students who are now, confined in the rooms and couldn't come to college and couldn't have the regular classes. Anyways, the first day, and I have been assigned to share with you a poem from by Robert Frost after apple picking. Before I start, there is a need to have an introduction of Robert Frost. As you know, Robert Frost, American poet, was born in the year 1874, and died at the age of 88. His famous poems, particularly The Road Untaken, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, and this one After Apple Picking. Robert Frost is famous for his metrical form and natural rhythm of everyday. And he is also famous for his depiction of New England life and colloquial speech and poetry of ordinary people and everyday life. He has also tried to depict the reality of actions and reality of the real people's life, and he has never tried to give an emphasized on unnecessary fantasy. This poem particularly, After Apple Picking, we need to have some important perspective of this poem. What type of poem is this and how this is to be analyzed? This is a personal poem. This is pessimistic, self-loathing, lucid, stream of consciousness technique is there, reflectiveness is there, resigned, and wearied, disappointed, surreal, and regretful. These are the important phenomena we could find in Robert Frost's poetry. And when we'll be starting to discuss, analyze this poetry, we'll be finding some of the important factors in Robert Frost's poetry. As it has been said, particularly after apple picking, apple is a symbolic one. And when we'll be studying, paradise as Frost would recognize in the first two lines of this poem as parallel to the story of Jacob climbing his ladder towards heaven. Dear students, if I ask you what is the distance between heaven and earth, I am sure you have to be a little bit of confused. As you know, you don't know the distance between heaven and earth. And if I ask you, would you like to go to heaven after death? Definitely, most of you will raise your hands and you will be telling that, yes, I am interested to go to heaven after death. But we don't know where our destiny is and how it is to be determined. And it is to be determined only after the performance where you are assigned on this earth. Anyways, as I have been talking about, Jacob climbing his ladder towards heaven. In the very first line, my long two-pointed ladder sticking to a tree towards heaven still. The 2 points of the ladder introduce the thematic qualities in the poem, real, ideal, etc. He climbs on crosspieces that connect the two sides of the ladder. A metaphor of life is in balance, which depends on both sides. In the real world, the accent is hard work and up and down rather than real. Adam and Eve initiated Western civilization by eating only one apple from the tree of knowledge. Frost, or the farmer speaking his poem, harvest 10,000 thousands. No wonder he is overtired. He affirms the view traditional since the Puritan, epitomized in Benjamin Franklin, that life is an ongoing education. He desired a great harvest. He picked all he could, but there may be two or three apples within reach that he missed. And there is a battle that I didn't feel. But by now, though he was had too much of apple picking, it is quite general and obvious that after a day-long walk, definitely we are going to be exhausted and we are to be tired and we are to be little bit of buried and need to have some sleep. And this apple picker in this poem, after apple picking, is having such thing in his life. His instep aches with the pain of his liver. Since he is drowsing off, he fall off his ladder. If he goes on picking while overtired, he will drop more apples as of no worth. Juxtaposition implies that dropping apples is what will trouble his sleep of mind, whatever sleep it is. If there is an afterlife, he will be troubled then by his mistakes and failures, just as he is in his life. In fact, apples will be magnified. These are the realizations coming in the mind, and very probably in the mind of Frost also. And that is why he is trying to find the very inner side of human soul. His transvision through a pen of eyes is analogous unto the idealistic vision expressed in this poem. His ladder pointed towards heaven still is the metaphor of his Platonic or Christian faith in a spiritual dimension and an afterlife that will take many of forms of his life. As you know, according to Christianity, the soul never dies. And automatically, after the death, what will happen? That is probably happenings in the mind of the poet. And he is thinking about what to happen and what to be what to be given to the mind and how that is to be controlled. As I have been talking about, this life emerges from nature like the stem and of an apple, and the afterlife is like his blossom ends. The coldness of his eyes vision connotes objectivity as well. The objectivity study of nature necessary in successful farming. His faith is based on nature and derives from intuition and analogy. That faith nourishes his art, which is in turn inspire the faith of a circulatory of expressed in the image of ladder round. Through the pain of eyes and by analogy to the possible afterlife, every speak of Russet shows clear in their analysis. Brooks and Warren calls the Russet desirable, carrying on agreeable, decorative, poetical flavor. On the contrary, russet on the apple is a blemish. You do not want to bite into that. But in an ideal afterlife, all is redeemed, and blemishes would turn into parts of aesthetic whole transcending the, as you know, particularly uh, perception that they are negative, which is in the nature of art. Frost agrees with Hawthorne is the of nature. Whatever art got, in this pandemic situation, very probably we are having, or we are,